What's up, guys? Today we're finally starting on the Supra project. We're gonna hopefully get it running properly and then fix a couple of problems it had, and hopefully by the end of it take it to the tuner and get some big horsepower numbers. So stay tuned. Now for some background. We bought this car a while back and it needed a lot of help. The previous owner really didn't know what he was doing and the car was very broken. So we pulled the whole motor apart, built the motor to 10.5 to 1 compression, and made 620 wheel horsepower. And then winter came, it went into storage, and when we tried to wake it up, it was not happy. So currently, guys, the Supra is pretty sick. We had an issue with our engine management. So yeah, as you can tell, it needs some help, and the reason this is happening is actually because our AEM Infinity, which is the ECU or engine management that we're using for this project, actually kind of failed on us initially, and thankfully with AEM support we managed to get it back going again, but unfortunately it seems that the ECU didn't exactly have the same settings coming out as it did going in. So software-wise, we tried to get everything where it needed to be, but we really couldn't figure it out there. That's a job for the tuner to do, which we are planning to go to in a little bit. But for now, we're going to check all the mechanicals. So we're going to hit the wiring, we're going to check the spark plugs, we're going to check the fuel injectors, and pretty much anything for basic function. Because right now, as you saw in that clip, the car sounds like complete garbage. And it's actually not idling by itself. You have to kind of give it like 5% throttle to keep it going. So basically, we're just going to cover all our bases, make sure everything is pretty much completely set, and then we'll tow it to the tuner and hopefully get him to check it out, and hopefully we can be on our way. So let's get started. The first thing that we're planning on doing is actually removing the spark plugs and just giving them a little bit of a quick check. So on this car, it actually uses coil on plugs or coil packs, so these actually need to be removed, and then we can go inside and then grab the spark plugs. Now these spark plugs weren't in terrible shape, but when I pulled them out they were dripping wet. So the car was running really rich, and that gives us a little bit more information in figuring out what the hell's wrong with the car. The electrodes were fine, but we're probably just going to end up replacing them anyway, just to be safe. Next up on the agenda is wiring, and well, we got our work cut out for us. The first step with wiring is to disconnect the battery. Oh gosh. Use your head to prop up the thing. Hatch. Okay. And then disconnect the battery. Yeah. Now you guys are probably looking at this and thinking, oh my goodness, what a complete mess. And, well, you're right. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So basically, I just need to go through and check if all of these wires, which go to various inputs in the car, are all actually connected properly. And then I'm going to tidy everything up, throw it in some loom tube, and then figure out how we're actually going to mount the ECU itself back there into the footwell. So let's do that. The finished result, as you can see, no more crazy wire mess. But if you pull the carpet back, I loom tubed any loose wiring and taped them up, and then I kind of stuck everything back there. Basically, the main wiring harness still needs to go up, and then it needs to get tied up there. And then I need to build a bracket for the ECU to mount it to the existing like ECU mounting location. But other than that, it's actually not too bad. There's no more just wires hanging out everywhere. Everything's connected properly. Made sure that, you know, literally every wire was where it needs to be. So hopefully wiring is not our issue. And then I also ran the USB cable to get into the tuning software, or rather to get into the ECU. Ran it through there, and it comes out the radio hole. And then there's that. So if you need to tune, you can tune through that. Alright, so that took absolutely forever, almost 2.5 hours just to clean up all the wiring. But that's out of the way, so hopefully all the wiring should be taken care of. So I'm going to move on further to the back, which is basically the fuel pump wiring and then the fuel pump relays and stuff. I'm going to sort all that out, get it all laid out really nicely in the trunk so like we can swap relays really quickly, and then just kind of clean up that whole area and make sure there's no wiring issues over there. If that's not the issue, I don't think it is. We're going to move back up front. I might just get new plugs and just change them for the hell of it, and then we might pull the fuel rail out and get the injectors sent over somewhere locally to get cleaned and flow checked. And once all that is set, I'll go into the AEM, make sure all the sensors are reading properly, which they have been, so I'm not sure if that's the issue. And if the car still runs like garbage, then it gets thrown in a tow truck, off to Sound Performance, where Larry will be looking through the software and figuring out what the hell is wrong with this thing. So, it's getting cold, it's getting late. I call it a night for tonight, and then we'll resume tomorrow morning.
Next time on Albon Garage.
This thing is black.